こんにちは。私はGabby Sensei です。Hello, it's me, Gabby Sensei. So this is going to be lesson 3. We're talking about the verbs aru and iru, which both mean to have or to exist. There are a lot of activities in this lesson, so if you do not know your vocabulary, you should probably print it out and keep it next to you, because in order to participate, you kind of have to know the words. But if you do, then they should be really fun. So, okay. So, 始めましょう. Let's start. Let's start by reviewing what we learned in lesson 2. In lesson 2, we talked about verbs, which are action words. And in Japanese, we know that there are 3 different kinds of verbs, which are important because they conjugate in different ways. First, we talked about the ru verbs, and in order to conjugate them, you have to drop the ru and then add mas. So taberu, to eat, dropping the ru becomes tabe, adding mas makes it tabemasu. Okiru, to wake up, dropping the ru makes it oki, then okimasu for adding the mas. With neru, to sleep, you drop the ru and it becomes ne, add the mas, it's nemasu. Miru, to see, dropping the ru, it's mi, adding the mas, it's mimasu. So here's a sentence, watashi wa okimasu. I wake up. For u verbs, we have to raise the u to an e. So if the ending is ku, it changes to ki. If the ending is nu, it changes to ni. If the ending is su, it changes to shi, etc. So then you have to add mas. Iku, to go, would then be iki, then become ikimasu. Nomu, to drink, raising the u to an e would be nomi, then adding mas, nomimasu. Hanasu, to speak, becomes hanashi, because in Japanese there's no si sound, so su has to become shi, then hanashimasu. Kau just ends in a regular u, so that's raised to kai, and then adding mas makes it kaimasu. So watashi wa hanashimasu means I speak. So the irregular verbs, we learned about kuru, which means to come, and that changes to kimasu. Suru, to do, which changes to shimasu, and words that are related to suru, like benkyou suru, to study, become benkyou shimasu. So just a reminder, looking at these forms of sentences with objects in them, we have tomodachi wa terebi o mimasu. So that's the subject wa, something, o, verb. It's going to be the same for pretty much everything. If you can verb with an object, so then you're going to have the o. So otoko no hito wa ongaku o kikimasu. That's right. Okay. So subject wa, something, o, verb. Now this one's a little bit different. Why is it different? Because this is a movement verb. So kuru and iku are both movement verbs, so there's something different about it. So we say otoko no ko wa gakkou ni ikimasu. Subject wa, place, ni, verb. So like I said, the only 2 verbs that we've talked about that would use ni would be iku and kuru, because they're both describing movement. This is the same review from last time, masu or masen. And we're going to be using our time words. So if you're going to answer yes to something, that you do something, you'd say hai, and you can use the time words yoku, meaning often, or tokidoki, meaning sometimes. If you say no, you could say iie, and then you could say amari, which means rarely or not very often, or zenzen, which means never. And with that, you would be using masen, because that's the negative ending of the verb. So since I did all of these last time, I will just ask the question and give you a chance to answer them yourself, but please try to make sure that you understand how to use the verbs and their positive or negative ending along with their time words. 日本語を勉強しますか? 日本語を勉強しますか? 野菜を食べますか? 野菜を食べますか? テレビゲームをしますか？テレビゲームをしますか？テニスをしますか？テニスをしますか？図書館に行きますか？図書館に行きますか？本を読みますか？本を読みますか？オレンジジュースを飲みますか？オレンジジュースを飲みますか？音楽を聴きますか？音楽を聴きますか？ So today's new part of the lesson, we are going to be covering ga arimasu and ga imasu, both of which mean there is blank or I have blank. Both ga arimasu and ga imasu are used to say there is blank or I have blank, but they are a little bit different. The verb aru is used for all kinds of non-living things, all kinds of inanimate objects, while the verb iru is used for only living things like people or animals. And this is very important because we're having a lot of people who are having trouble remembering to use iru, but in real life, a Japanese person might become offended if you use aru to describe a real person because they're thinking, what, am I not a real person? Am I just an object? So you have to remember, arimasu is for non-living things, but imasu is for like people and animals. That's really important. So let's see, can we tell if aru is a ru verb or an u verb? We should be able to tell because we know that according to the top of this page, ga arimasu is the conjugated form. So we didn't drop the ru, we raised it to an e, right? So we can say that it became aru, ari, arimasu, meaning it's an u verb. So this is the first time you've seen this, but sometimes a verb that ends in the ru sound can be an u verb. That's why it's important to actually be able to distinguish them, and you have to just know which one is which. But what about iru now? This ends in a ru, so is it a ru verb or is it another tricky u verb? So knowing that the full conjugated form is imasu, we can see that they did indeed drop the ru. It becomes iru, drop the ru, I, add mas, imasu. So that makes it a ru verb. 先生、今日はテストがありますか？いいえ、今日はテストがありません。でも明日あります。So what does this conversation show? This conversation is showing that the student, he's asking, do we have a test? And the teacher says, no, we don't have a test. Or there isn't a test tomorrow, but we do have a test tomorrow. So what this is showing is that you can make arimasu or imasu negative. So he's saying, 今日はテストがありません. There is not a test today. でも明日あります. But there is a test tomorrow. So let's go into more depth of how to use these. So I'll ask you some questions and just answer honestly. Hi, yes you have it. So hi, arimasu, or iie arimasen. So first question, gamu ga arimasu ka? So if you have gum, you'd say hi, gamu ga arimasu. Or if you don't, iie, gamu ga arimasen. So I'll address this now since I'm thinking about it. As you've noticed, Japanese is very repetitive. A lot of times it doesn't have to be because if you already know what you're talking about, you can delete it. But for the sake of making things easier, we're just going to keep repeating things. So if you don't know how you're supposed to answer, the best thing to do is just repeat what the person said to you. So if I say gamu ga arimasu ka, and you want to say, yes, I do. So you're like, hi, but how do I answer? Hi, gamu ga arimasu. That's all you have to do. And if you don't, it's still the same thing, but you've just changed it to negative. So, 家ガムがありません. So Japanese is very repetitive in that way. So just repeat the verb. So now the next one, 妹がいますか? 妹がいますか? Because it's a living thing. はい、妹がいます. Or in my case, because I don't have a younger sister, I would say, いいえ、妹がいません. 妹がいません. ペットがいますか? ペットがいますか? My answer would be, はい、ペットがいます. 猫がいます. Yes, I have a pet. I have a cat. But sometimes if you don't have a pet, then you would be saying, いいえ、ペットがいません. Finally, タイガーズの T シャツがありますか? タイガーズの T シャツがありますか? For me, I say, いいえ、タイガーズの T シャツがありません. Because I don't really watch baseball. でも、Pistonsの T シャツがあります. I do have a Pistons t-shirt. Because I like basketball. So here we have another situation that we can use this in. This little girl, she's walked into a school and she's kind of doing the potty dance and she's going to ask, すみません、お手洗いがありますか? すみません、お手洗いがありますか? So what she's asking is there a bathroom? Right? Is there a bathroom? So of course there's a bathroom in the school, so the teacher's going to say, はい、ここにあります. Yes, there is one here. Right? Koko means here. So if she's saying koko, which door is it behind? We're going to figure that out. So I realize there's something else that I need to include. So we didn't repeat the whole thing. Like I was saying, we didn't say oterai ga arimasu, but you could potentially. You can say, hai, koko ni oterai ga arimasu. But in order to just not keep repeating ourselves, we're just not saying it. But so with my question, which door would the bathroom be behind if she's saying Koko? It's going to be the one close to her because she's speaking. If it was close to the girl, she would be saying Soko. And if it was close to neither of them, it would be Asoko. So the particle ni that we have after Koko can represent a lot of things. But in this case, you say it after the location of something where something else is. So we've also used it another time. So can you think of when else we've used ni in a sentence? That's right. We were using it before when we were talking about movement verbs because among other things, ni often represents location, and that's why if you're moving to a location, you have ni. And same with here, we're talking about a location. And this is actually really important. This is something that I tried to explain a little bit before, is that if you don't use the correct particle, it can mean something completely different. So if you say like, koko ga arimasu, what you're saying is, there is here. There is a here. Like, here is a thing. Here exists. So it does make a difference. You have to use the right particles. So I know this isn't something that's in English grammar. It's just something you have to understand about Japanese grammar. So please remember the structure. 電話はどこですか? This is something that everyone should be familiar with. 電話はどこですか? Where is the telephone? Before we used to be able to answer 電話はここです. 電話はそこです. Or 電話はあそこです. Here, there, or over there. But now we're going to ask a slightly different question. We're asking 電話がありますか? So instead of where is the phone, we're asking, is there a phone? Or do you have a phone? Is there a phone? 電話がありますか? So your answer is going to be a little bit different. Because now we don't even know if you have a phone, so you have to answer like, はい、あります。電話はここです。あそこです。そこです。But what if you need to be more specific? If you just say 電話はあそこです, maybe they can't see where you're pointing to or they can't tell. So we're going to learn how to use あります in order to be more specific about location. So this question should look familiar. 電話がありますか? Is there a telephone? So our answer would be はい、電話はあそこです. Yes, we have a telephone. The telephone is over there. But alternately, you could say あそこに電話があります. Over there, there is a phone. So this is the same thing like when the teacher was saying ここにお寺があります or ここにあります. So this is the same thing. あそこに電話があります. The location, there is a phone. But so we're going to take out あそこ and be more descriptive by explaining where it is. And here in this picture, the telephone is on the table. So we're going to learn how to say that. So table in Japanese is teiburu. So the way to explain where things are in location to the table is you have teiburu no, and then you will have your postposition. A postposition is like a preposition. Prepositions meaning like on, above, under, next to, between, around, all of those location describing words. But postpositions come after the word. So, teiburu no something ni denwa ga arimasu. So if the phone is above the table, we're going to say teiburu no ue ni denwa ga arimasu. Now if the phone has moved to be placed under the table, we still keep the word table, but now we're saying teiburu no shita ni denwa ga arimasu. Now it's to the left, so we'll say teiburu no hidari ni denwa ga arimasu. Now it's to the right, so we'll say teiburu no migi ni denwa ga arimasu. In front of the table, you would say teiburu no mae ni denwa ga arimasu. Behind the table, you would say teiburu no ushiro ni denwa ga arimasu. This is supposed to be the phone is inside the table, so we're going to say teiburu no naka ni denwa ga arimasu. If you just want to describe nearby or close to, you could say teiburu no soba ni denwa ga arimasu or teiburu no chikai ni denwa ga arimasu. Or if it's very far away, you could say teiburu no toi ni denwa ga arimasu. So maybe it's not super useful when describing where the phone is, but if you want to describe like where you live, you can say I live far away from Detroit or something like that. So 電話がありますか? はい、テーブルの上に電話があります. So like I've mentioned before, with Japanese being very repetitive, as you can see, 電話がありますか is the question, and the end of the sentence repeats it. 電話があります. There is a phone. So the first question is there a phone? There is a phone is the answer. So before that, we have the location. So テーブルの上に is the location. Then 電話があります is there is blank, there is a phone. So this is going to be the form that we're going to use every time. We're going to say location, there is blank. So location, then there is blank. So in English that would be, is there a phone? Yes. On the table, there is a phone. Location, there is blank. So here we have this kawaii neko, this cute little cat, and we have the box called the hako. And this is a particularly special box because it is the cat box. So together we're going to call this the neko bako because it is the standard cat box, the neko bako. So in a sentence, we're going to be describing where the cat is in comparison to the box. So our sentence would be neko bako no postposition ni neko ga. How do we finish the sentence? It would be imasu because a cat is a living thing. So it's not arimasu, it's imasu. So now we're going to fill in where the cat is located. So this means that the sentence stays the same every time. We're just changing what postposition we use. So what sentence would this be? Neko bako no ushiro ni neko ga imasu. So this is a good time to pull out your vocabulary list if you don't know your words. What about now? 猫箱の左に猫がいます. The cat is to the left of the 猫箱. 猫箱の下に猫がいます. This one is supposed to be far away. 猫箱の遠いに猫がいます. 猫箱の前に猫がいます. 猫箱の中に猫がいます. 猫箱の右に猫がいます. This one is one that should be on the vocabulary list, but we haven't talked about yet. So on the vocabulary list, we have the word between. And since the cat is between two objects, if we remember how to say and, then we should be able to explain what the cat is between. So, and in Japanese is the word to. So in this case, we would say, 猫箱とボールの間に猫がいます. The cat is between the nekobako and the ball. 猫箱の上に猫がいます. So as you can see, the entire time, nekobako came first because that's what we're talking about in location to the cat. So we always have at the end the neko ga imasu because we're talking about the cat. So neko ga imasu, neko ga imasu, neko ga imasu. Before, when we were asking, is there a telephone? Is there a telephone? Is there a telephone? It's just denwa ga arimasu, denwa ga arimasu, denwa ga arimasu. That's the end. So first we need the location. So we have the neko bako no, and we changed which post position we were using. So we have behind, to the left, under, far, in front, inside, to the right, between, above. So that's what goes in the blank. Oh, there was one more I forgot. Alright, I thought that was the end. So we have neko bako no soba ni neko ga imasu. There we go. So now we have a different scene. Now we have a classroom, and we're going to describe where things are in comparison to each other. So, for example, we have the first object, tsukue. Tsukue no ue ni. So as we know, ue means on top. On top of what? On top of the desk. So on top of the desk there is what? On top of the desk there is an apple. So tsukue no ue ni rengo ga arimasu. Tsukue no ue ni rengo ga arimasu. Let's try one more example. So mado. Mado is the window. So mado no shita ni. Mado no shita ni. So this is under the window, right? Under what? Under the window. So what is under the window? Mado no shita ni gomi bako ga arimasu. There's a trash can underneath the window. So let us label some of these items that you might not know. Some of them you probably know, like denwa, sensei, ringo, enpitsu, boru, kaban, maybe sakana. So some other items that we have a mat, chizu, we have table, teburu, we have aquarium with some sakana inside, we have terebi and computer, we have desk is tsukue, we have isu for chair, mado, window, gomi bako is trash can, and doa is door. So I will give you a chance to try to do some on your own, and then maybe I'll give a few more examples. So I just want to make sure that you have a couple examples to go by, so I'll do a few examples for you. アクアリウムの中に魚がいます。アクアリウムの中に魚がいます。Inside the aquarium there are fish, and we use います because fish are living creatures. ドアの左にゴミ箱があります。ドアの左にゴミ箱があります。To the left of the door, there is a trash can. To the left of the door, there's a trash can. 椅子の下にボールがあります。椅子の下にボールがあります。There is a ball underneath the chair. So under the chair, there is a ball. I'll do one more. テーブルの後ろに地図があります。テーブルの後ろに地図があります。Behind the table, there is a map. So we have a very similar activity next, but this activity is with a town map. And in your town, there is a tourist who has come by, and he wants to know if there is something in your town. So he's going to ask, この町はsomethingがありますか? So is there blank in your town? Since you're the experienced town dweller, you're going to be answering his question using a location word. So, はい。Someplace no, some postposition ni object ga arimasu. So as you can see, this is color-coded, the same as before. I'll go back. So before, we had all of the object we were looking for in the red blank. In the blue blank, we had our postpositions, and in our purple blank, we had the other object it was in comparison to. So that's what we're doing here too. So in the red blank, this person's going to be asking, and it's the same in your answer, and the first part is the location. So let's label these places. Here's the gakko, it's the school, yama, mountains, basket no koto, basketball court, saka, the hill, hashi, the bridge, ofisu, the office, koen, the park, restaurant, the restaurant, moru, the mall, Toshokan, the library, hoteru, the hotel, kawa, the river, watashi no ie, my house, mori is a forest, and obasan no ie, grandma's house, which is, of course, on the other side of the forest, as it always is in every story. So here's an example. If our tourist is going to say, この町は森がありますか? We want to answer, where is the forest? Where is the mori? So you would answer something like this. はい。私の家とおばあさんの家の間に森があります. So you can tell what postposition is supposed to be there based on the location. If I had said, like, はい、moru no, you can tell that I'm supposed to be saying under or in front of or something in relation. So 前に森があります. So here in this sentence, you could potentially say, 町は私の家とおばあさんの家の間に森があります. But that's a little repetitive. So instead, we're just repeating the 森があります, 森があります. So I'm going to erase the example. And please take a few minutes to try it by yourself or with a partner, which would be even better. And then after that, I will give you some possible examples. So I have a partner here who's going to help us show a few examples of something you may have come up with. Hello. And she's going to be playing the tourist, and I will be answering the questions as you should have answered them. Your answers might not be the same as this, but these are just a few examples. So let us begin.
この町は学校がありますか？
はい、坂の上に学校があります。
この町はバスケのコートがありますか？
はい、公園の中にバスケのコートがあります。
この町はレストランがありますか？
はい、橋の下にレストランがあります。
この町はホテルがありますか？
はい、モールの右にホテルがあります。
この町はオフィスがありますか？
はい、図書館の後ろにオフィスがあります。
この町は川がありますか？
はい、私の家のそばに川があります。
この町は図書館がありますか？
はい、オフィスの前に図書館があります。So I hope those few examples were able to help you figure out how this form works in real sentences. But if you're not sure, please review the vocabulary and how to fill in the blanks. 日本の文化. Now we're going to do our cultural lesson. Here are some pictures depicting what we will be talking about. And all of these images represent different Japanese traditional arts. First, we're going to be talking about bijutsu, or just art. Japanese artwork is very recognizable, and it often depicts people, nature scenes, and animals. And these two images are traditional Japanese paintings. They're rather recognizable in that Japanese paintings often kind of have a sepia tone to them. They're almost brownish in color. That's because of the Japanese paper. And the style, it's very bendy, I almost want to say. Curvy and bendy, like just looking at the trees and the way the people stand, it's very stylized, and this is very stereotypical in Japanese artwork. Some other kinds of artwork are represented here. And the image on the left is called the Great Wave off Kanagawa and is a wood block print. So it's basically like a wooden stamp for pictures. So people would carve the image in a block of wood so that way you can just stamp it and reuse it all the time. And this is one of the most famous images. And the picture on the right is a traditional Japanese ink painting called a sumie, and they often use ink to paint things like cherry blossoms or cranes and other animals. Next, we're going to talk about shodo, or calligraphy. And this is an example of calligraphy. It's actually a very legible example. Usually it's almost too hard to read, and unless you're trained in calligraphy, you usually can't read it, even if you're Japanese. So calligraphy has been practiced for hundreds and hundreds of years, and in the past, poetry was very popular, especially haiku, which is still known today. And haiku have 3 lines, the first being 5 syllables, the second being 7, and the third being 5. Usually they were about nature or seasons. So a syllable in English is usually just whatever takes up one clap. So if you want to say Gebi sensei, that'd be Gebi sensei. But in Japanese, they count it a little bit more specifically. They use the mora, which we haven't really covered. But so the word sensei itself would be 4. So that would be sensei. So that itself is 4. So you'll be able to see this in the next examples. Here's an old Japanese haiku. Furu ike ya kawazu tobikomu mizu no oto. So, translated into English while trying to still keep the 5-7-5 pattern, we have an ancient still pond. A frog suddenly jumps in. The sound of water. So it's about a very old still pond, and the silence is broken when a frog jumps in. Next we're going to talk about geino, or performing arts. So here's an example of a very old Japanese performing art called no. And no is very recognizable because they wear these masks. So all the performers are men, but they will wear masks like the mask of a woman, or a man, or a demon, or an old man, as you can see in that picture. And no are very long, and they usually are depicting very tragic stories, and they're often very sad. The more famous one that you might have heard of is called kabuki. And in kabuki they wear very interesting face paints. So their face will be completely white, but they'll have like red markings on their arms and things. And everyone's played by a man, so even that woman in the picture is probably just a young man whose voice hasn't changed yet, so he can play a woman. And these are much more actiony and adventure-y, but they're still usually dramatic and dramaful, and they're often very, very long. So be prepared to sit tight. And my favorite out of these three is actually bunraku, which is not as famous here in the US, but it's puppetry performance. And as you can see, the two masters, they get to be uncovered, and they're controlling the main part of the puppet. But they do have assistants who help move the other parts, like the arms and the legs, who have to cover their faces in black cloth so no one can see them, and they blend into the background. Next we're going to talk about sado, or tea ceremony. And here's an example of an old painting about sado, and here is a picture that I took when I visited a Japanese tea ceremony in Japan. And tea ceremony in Japan is very, very old and a very complicated traditional art. It's not as common to study it now, but a long time ago, it was expected that every highborn lady knew how to make and serve tea in this way. And it was very important to do it this way, because if you couldn't, that was dishonorable on your family, and it meant that you couldn't be a good wife and a good hostess to everyone. And so if you even messed up a step very slightly, like you forgot to bow in the right place, or you placed your ladle in the wrong spot, then that could be considered very bad. So it's a very slow and long, but very, very beautiful ceremony. I think everyone should recognize what this is. This is origami, or the art of folding paper. And here we have a close-up of a crane, which is a really, really popular origami to do. So origami, as you probably know, is the art of folding a piece of paper in a complicated way to make a piece of art. Many people in Japan do origami for fun, and children will make things like cranes and flowers, frogs, or boxes even during their recess time because it's fun and it's a traditional Japanese pastime. So I just found a few cool ones online, and you can make them really simple like the crane, or complicated here like this. I don't know if it's a star or a sea urchin. Here's one that's not as hard, but still tougher than what I can do, and it's a flower. And sometimes people get really, really super creative, although that's not that common, but they can make really insanely detailed artwork, like this person made fruit using just folded pieces of paper. Budo. Yes, that sounds a lot like the word for grapes, but this one means martial arts. This one, a lot of people should recognize. This is karate, or as we say in English, karate. So you may not have known, but karate actually originated in Japan, Okinawa to be specific, and the reason that everyone always has that open hand when they're striking things is because karate literally means open hand, or empty hand. So that's why when you are striking things, you just have the straight hand open. Another type of martial arts is called judo, which we just call judo in English, and this is not so much about the art of striking as the art of throwing down your opponent. So that's why instead of kicking and punching, this man is trying to throw his opponent down to the ground. And these people aren't Japanese, as you can see, because judo is an international sport and it's played in the Olympics as well.
Next we have a sport called kendo, which is a sport that's fought with wooden swords. And it's actually a rather popular club activity for students after school, like in high school, for example. And it's a lot more difficult than you would think. Finally, for martial arts, we have one that most people should be familiar with, sumo, as in sumo wrestling. So these guys are huge, obviously. They're very big. And the point of sumo is, as you can see on the ground in the picture on the right, there's a ring. And your goal as a sumo wrestler is to either push your opponent out of the, so they step out of the ring, or make them fall to the ground first. And that can happen really fast because these big guys are strong and fast. So they might be staring each other down, waiting to start for like minutes at a time. And then when they finally start, the match might be over in seconds. Next we have ongaku, or music. And the picture here at the bottom is a woman playing a traditional Japanese harp known as the okoto, or sometimes just the koto in English. And it is like a harp in that it lays on the ground and you pluck the strings, and I've also had experience trying to learn how to play. I was actually pretty good at reading the music notes. It's just that the strings are very difficult to pluck because they're very hard and they're very taut. We also have the biwa, which is like a Japanese guitar, and there is the biggest lake in Japan is called Lake Biwa, or Biwako, because it is the exact shape of a biwa. Another kind of guitar-like instrument is the shamisen. I absolutely love the shamisen. And then there's the shakuhachi, which is like the bamboo flute, which is very stereotypical in old Japanese music. So you might see like in a samurai film and you hear that really high-pitched flute. That's the shakuhachi. And in Japan, they're famous for the taiko drums. And I have a link to a group called Tao, which perform Japanese drum performances, so we'll give that a look. I just want to show like the first minute and a half or so of this clip. It is from Tao's most recent performance, and it is their TV spot as well as some of their promotional videos. And if it interests you, and I encourage you to watch more and definitely look into seeing them live, because I've seen them live and I can tell you it's totally worth it. It is absolutely amazing. So here is Tao.
世界中で600万人が体感した勝利。あなたは目を奪われる。タオ。
that's all I'll show, so if you're interested, please continue watching on your own. But if you'll notice that they do perform with more than just the taiko drums, they also perform with shamisen and shakuhachi and other traditional Japanese instruments. So I hope you enjoyed that. Finally, we have Kyou no J-pop wa Monkey Magic desu. So as you can see, this is Monkey Magic, and the two guys in the middle, they're the lead singers, and they don't look Japanese at all, and that is because they are in fact Canadian. And the older brother was in Japan teaching English after he graduated from college, and he ended up starting a band there, and so his younger brother joined him from Canada, and together they actually have made a Japanese band that's really, really successful. So a lot of people have heard of this band. So I had planned to listen to 2 songs by them because they're only the short versions that were uploaded to YouTube. So Open Happiness is just a fun one, and the song Change features a shamisen, so that is something to listen to. So I hope that you get to listen to and enjoy Monkey Magic. I hope everyone was able to participate in the activities. If you weren't, I think that you should learn your vocabulary words, then go back and try again, because it's really fun and it's something that'll be really useful, especially when talking to a person in Japan and you're looking for where things are or you want to describe where things are. So please keep practicing. 勉強しようね. And we'll see you next week, because we will be going over those verbs again, which I know were really difficult, but so this is going to be mostly review, but still we're going to 頑張ろうね。頑張ってください。じゃあまたね。また来週。